This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, but the real star of today's show is this guy. Who's this guy?
What's going on, guys?
This is Doug Hawley, and if you've been watching this show, if you're part of our community here, you know Doug Hawley well, and maybe this is the first time. No, actually, it couldn't be the first time. You've been on many a stream now that I think about it. But Doug is here in the house. Doug is coming to town to... we've worked out a deal, and he's taking over one of my old sim racing rigs. So he's going to storage with me to fish it out, and he'll have a new rig.
Moving on up.
And he's here for the news today, because right after the news, we are moving on to storage to take care of business. So, Doug, what's going on in sim racing today?
That's a good question. It looks like we got some Crew 2 news
Oh, wait,
here.
I'm ahead of myself.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I misled you all the way. Yes, Mr. Carb, Devin Booth. Mr. Carb is his nickname.
Yep, H-Carb.
But here,
Carburetor.
Carburetor. Hawley. Doug Hawley Carburetor, we call him. Anyway, Forza RC, they have a little preview show. Oh, look at that. Tom Jones throwing in $2 for Doug.
Woohoo, thanks, Tom.
That will help for the gas. Doug's coming down to L.A. from Bakersfield this morning to make this happen. So thank you. Thank you, Doug, for coming down. Anyway, Forza RC Road Championship. They have their preview video that for some reason doesn't want to replay on my system anymore. Is that my internet? No, I got a green light.
You're streaming.
I think it's just my web page here, because we're doing so much messing around here on the show.
Pork.
There you go, Mike. How do you like it, Mike? Free plug on the show. Anyway, there you go. But they are doing a preview show of the Road Championship, the next round of their big series. A lot of money, a lot of prestige on the line. You can find that at their Twitter page. I mean, that's kind of news, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is that worthy news or no? Not a lot today. I got to admit, it's a great day to have Doug here because not a lot going on in sim racing today. I mean, we could talk about things we have going on in sim racing.
All I can say is the pictures do not do those pedals justice. You need to see them in person.
Oh, he's talking about the HPP pedals that I'm reviewing.
And the rig, too.
And the S1 rig, which I'm hoping to have this review done by, like, this weekend. Next question. Do you do any Gran Turismo? That's not really your thing.
I'm not a
GT Sport, the big update was yesterday. So the question is, who drove Fuji? Anybody drive Fuji? I almost called it Fiji. In addition to that, yeah, some cars. The NSX, we saw the Viper, that old school, I can't remember. Oh, look at the Fairlady Z. I remember my mom was kind of a badass lady. My mom drove, not a Viper. She's not that badass, not an NSX. But my mom owned one of those. It wasn't the twin turbo, but my mom owned a 300Z, the 1990, the wide body 300Z. Anyway, a lot of new content, so any thoughts out there? Anybody actually get a chance to drive it? Anybody get a chance to see what it was all about? How is Fuji? How is the new content? Is it a deal breaker or a deal maker when it comes to GT Sport? Now I know why Coffee and News... Oh, Devin says he knows why Coffee and News Channel is empty right now. Because Doug Hawley is here.
Oh, yeah. I'm normally there every morning. Waiting for somebody to come in and talk to me. The Doug and Sean Show. Yep, you're right, Dave.
Yep, Doug can be here every day. It's not too long a drive, right?
How is sunny Florida there, Angel?
So... This I just brought up. This is Project Cars 2. There is really no news over there, but someone posted this rig. I'll get you his name and look at the post, but they actually posted this at the Project Cars 2. This is the RC RS1. That's the rig that you're gonna go get, isn't it?
No, mine's the N1.
I mean the N1. I'm sorry. Oh. That looks like an N1 to me, and that's the rig that we're gonna.
Those brackets on the.
It's got
both look the same, yeah.
AccuForce wheel, couple different wheel rims that he has available for it. CS3, Club Sport V3 pedals and shifter, homemade dash and gear indicator. Anyway, I thought that was a gorgeous looking rig. I always try to motivate you guys. I also, the other thing I noticed right away was how small the bezels on these monitors are. Those are some good looking monitors for sure. Oh, he's got wind. Look at that. He's got wind coming at him. Couple fans.
Down on the...
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a butt kicker down there, isn't it? Behind that fan there?
This right here?
Right there.
That very well could be a butt
Looks
kicker.
like a butt kicker back there somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was cool rig, worth seeing on a light on news day. Other than that, just a lot of scape photos. When I looked through Gran Turismo and Project Cars, a lot of the photo stuff. Tom Jones asked, "This will be the second rig that Doug has gotten from Sean," and I thought the same thing, Tom. Is that correct, Doug?
No.
No. This is the third rig.
This will be the third. The first one was a accelerator stand for Xbox.
That's right.
At the AKA open house.
That was the old Inside Sim Racing open house that we did in Simi Valley. Had about 20 sim racers come out there.
And the second one I won through a drawing.
And that was the Human Racing.
Yeah, it was the Human Racing GT chassis.
That was weren't those like $1,500?
They were way up there in price. They wanted $250 just for the shifter bracket.
That is crazy. It's a beautiful rig, though. One of my all-time favorites.
In business.
Anyway, I always like to little Peter Brady there. I always like to show you guys when the F1 guys actually get out on the sim and show off their talent in game. Anyway, what we have here is Pierre Gasly looking ahead to the Russian GP. Cool looking simulator there. You can see him running with the halo. I always wonder, you know, they always show camera views. They always show the simulator view. Very rarely do they show us the view he's actually driving. Like, I don't know if that's just the replay being played or if that's the view he actually plays from. But it really didn't look like much of a preview of the track. I thought it was a little more preview of the track, a little less Disney. What else we got? Williams, you know, I don't know how I missed that Williams is already so deeply involved in esport. So, I mean, I knew they were one of the F1 esport teams because they're in the draft. Obviously, they're part of F1. But I didn't realize that it really went. We did show their whole team a while back on the show, and it was like 20, 30 guys. I had no idea. Anyway, they have a whole wondering what the esport fuss is about. This is actually at Williams Racing, but it was retweeted by iRacing. But watch the Williams esport team in action below to find out. And they have some video showing them in the 2018 ADAC Porsche Trophy Race from Sim Racing Expo. So everyone's calling Gasly a hippie and telling us he looks 15 years old. Oh, where is he? There he is, the 15-year-old.
Yeah, it's quite the...
That's quite the mop on his head, isn't it?
That's the word I guess I would go for, mop. Almost looks like a toupee.
That was yesterday's topic.
I know.
It was rugs. Rugs for the show. R Factor just kind of reposted, just a friendly reminder. Only 2 days left to get your laps in for this round of the McLaren Shadow.
Has Mitchie done it yet?
You know, Mitchie, are you here? Mitchie, he was here in the morning yesterday, and then he never answered the question, which makes me think he only caught part of the show.
Tom, he showed me all kinds of love. He was all over me.
Yeah, Max. Where is he?
He's calmed down now. He's over there laying with his...
Wore himself out. But anyway, only 2 days left in that qualifier. I believe now it's actually down to 1 day left. So this ends on 10/19. No. Yeah, for this round, why does it say...
Way too much traffic for that, Tom.
Why does it say 18th to 28th? Anyway, if that's something you want to get in, please send me shots. I want to see where you guys do. Mitchie, what's your lap time? You better let me know. Tom says, just FYI, Sean, he'd personally like to see more Doug on the show. All right.
That's a lot of traffic.
K-Dog, until he puts his GT Omega together, has a wheel on a flimsy wood square. Man, I would drop everything to put... if I had a flimsy wood square and a GT Omega sitting in a box, I would call in sick. That's just me. And yeah, George, a lot of progress being made by those teams. They're really... You know, this is something I talked about nearly a year ago, about how at some point it wouldn't be coming from the traditional sim racing path. it was going to come from external sources, whether it be Formula One or McLaren or Williams. And I think we're to that point where we're seeing the professionals, the colleges giving scholarships, the already established teams with budgets, money, and more importantly, structure. They all have structure already built in. They have management. They have PR people. They know how to do this compared to a typical sim racing team, which is kind of trying to learn it just like a streamer, am trying to learn how to be a broadcaster versus if tomorrow ESPN wanted to do my job, I think they could make me fairly obsolete pretty quickly.
Especially with the right amount of money.
Yes, time trials are this week for Petit Le Mans. Thank you, Brian. Not really a topic of the show, but topic of everybody who is... yes, I believe we were 2 weeks, but we're only 1 weekend away. Brian, thank you for that. I am sending an email out today. As soon as I get out from storage, I'm going to take care of business with that. We will do practices and time trials over the next week with a certain date for cutoff. That'll be included. If you think you're part of the Simpit Endurance team and you don't get an email from me today, please contact me this evening or first thing in the morning to make sure you're part of the team as well. We want to get everybody in there. Jesse, thank you very much. $5 from Jesse, doing it for Dougie. Shout out to the Dabster from a bunch of guys there and girls. All right, moving along. I don't have a lot to talk about, so I'm glad you guys are all carrying the show. Makes it easy on me. The funniest pick, and I'm not going to put it up because it might not be nice, but I'll tell you what it said. Funniest pick I saw in the last day was Max and Doug. Thank you, Jesse. Was a post by Jesse.
Uh-oh.
And Jesse, you know what? I'm going to pull it up. I'm sorry, everybody on our Discord channel, you're about to go public, but here it is, right there. It's going to be hard for you guys to see, but right there, Jesse Conroy's review on Dakar 18. Hello, Viking Elite. Your purchase has been refunded by Steam. Anyway, say no more. I think we get Jesse's point. That's where he stands on the title. I have not had a chance. Anybody else try it? I heard bugs. Yesterday we talked about it. You guys talked about bugs aplenty. Anyway, Dakar has a couple promo videos. They're put one more out yesterday. The Bivouac menu is your shelter. Wow, that's probably a word I'm supposed to know if you're like a real Dakar guy.
Yeah, when do you want to try it?
Talking about a word of advice when you get stuck in the mud, things like that. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much. A little dabble do you. Thank you, buddy. Anyway, other thoughts? Anybody else return the game already? Anybody else enjoying the game? Anybody else optimistic thinking a patch can just be all it takes? Just a patch or two, and then it'll be just right. Crew 2 has more cars dropping. That's their big thing. Drop the mic, I guess, by the Crew 2. Anyway, this month we're going to see the Aerial Nomad and the Proto Hovercraft 3XK Armored. Gotta have armor. 2018 Season Pass holders get it. Both vehicles today. And once again, we're going to see a 1 week holdout for regular content buyers versus Season Pass. Jesse is paying money to guarantee or beg you, lobby you to not buy Dakar 18.
Yeah, obviously.
Jesse, thank you very much. I think your point has been well made.
Yeah.
Jesse Conroy, the real star of today's show. I did mention the patch for Gran Turismo. We talked Fuji, we talked Fairlady Z, we talked Viper and NSX. What we didn't talk about it was for, a patch. That's all it needs. Jesse, you were too awesome, buddy. Come on, thing, you gotta work. There we go. One thing it also did was it increased Fanatic support. So I do believe this is GT Sport being used with Rev Lights now working on a CSL base for the PS4. So that is good news for Fanatic users when it comes to that Gran Turismo update, and I can only assume that is the case being that this is at Fanatic's site, so why would they be reposting the 1.28 update? Anyway,
yeah, I think somebody stole Jesse's credit card.
Jesse, that's an imposter. Do you guys remember this guy? Do you guys remember the salad bowl? Right now I'm thinking about the Pimax, that's right. Someone corrected us. It's pie, like cherry pie. Pimax, 5K, 8K displays. And I think, you know, sometimes when you get on these crowdfunding, maybe we could even talk about the VR wheel, Feel VR wheel. But when I think about getting in at the early, you know, it could be a total ripoff on one hand. But look at this salad bowl, the one on the left in the image there. That is much more advanced than the little mini version that they first showed.
They showed all the wheels moving the tub on the first one.
Yeah, so this looks a lot more legit to me. Like, oh, okay, they've made some huge progress. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking it, but I remember when we saw the first stage. The reason I'm bringing it up is, I mean, I don't know what it costs to get in on this. It's actually not that much more, but $2,000 Early Bird Simulator versus Early Bird Battle Station. I don't need no battle station.
Well, that'd come with all the flight stick options, I would imagine. Not so much the controllers, but just all the options for flying.
It comes with the vibration, cockpit, and shipping.
That's it?
Includes chair mount, armrests, pedal shelf, 4 60-watt tactile transducers. I believe that's what we're looking at here. This is what you get at that $399.
Oh, okay.
Versus $2,000 gets you the Big Daddy. Anyway, they are at Kickstarter under Feel 3, and I believe there's only 10 hours left. That's why I'm talking about it today. They've already raised $236,000 of their $65,000 goal. So I have to admit, for a flight sim, this looks pretty legit. I'm still a little afraid of putting that driving rig in there, but I don't know. It does look, I have to admit, I clowned this a lot when we saw it. We dubbed it the salad bowl when it just looked like a teeny tub on top of little rolling wheels.
Basically what it looked like in the beginning.
We would get Doug a mic if we thought for sure that he was going to be here all the time. But
sorry, Darren. I'll speak up more.
This is a one-off thing. Doug's here to...
yeah, somebody has stole Jesse's credit card.
Jesse's gone crazy in the best of ways. So, all right. Anyway, I just thought this was worth mentioning. If you got a hole burning in your pocket and you want to try out the virtual reality motion simulator, you might want to check out their Kickstarter. Find out. Read before you do anything. I mean, I'm just showing it to you. I'm not saying go get one. And certainly make sure what promises they're making for the investment level that you're buying in on. Any Kickstart type idea, please make sure to find out what you're really being guaranteed for your money. I mean, again, I'll use the original success story being Oculus. And sure, everyone who was an early investor in Oculus got one of the first units, and they got one of the first production units as well. And then that dude, Palmer Lucky, isn't that his name? Lucky Palmer, we should call it pocket change, Jesse. But Palmer ran off with billions of Facebook dollars, and you have your Feel VR for helping getting him off the ground. So anyway, I'm always a little skeptical when it comes to crowdfunding, I will admit.
We might have to work on that statement Tom made there. We might be able to do something about that twin position thing.
There's got to be a way. It could be done. It could certainly be done from multiple locations.
We could do Skype.
We could entertain such ideas, Tom. You never know. You never know. It's a piece of clay. The Simpit is just a piece of clay. We are all forming it into whatever it will be someday. Tech Power Up, just showing off the NVIDIA Link. So this is like, remember the old flimsy links? The little ribbon you'd put between?
Yes.
Look at this. Now it's got like the whole real deal. Like, oh, chung, chung. You know, it looks like it clicks in properly. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. For all you tech guys, I am a long ways away from getting myself an RTX 20 series. I just don't see justifying the money.
About the time they come out with a 30 series, I'll probably get a 20.
Well, I'm not sure that it's even to the point that any of the games I'm using are even optimizing it yet. So right now, I don't know if it really outperforms the 1080, which seems to be working just fine in my world. So anyway, Oculus. Anybody? I know a few of you watched their keynote address. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
I don't watch it.
I was tearing everything apart.
I wanted to, but I had to work on the lighting, and you can see all the progress I've made. The lighting is impeccable. And the echo, I've completely cured the echo overnight. Look at that. Sarcasm aplenty on a Thursday. PC Gamer has an article here coming off of that keynote address, but the Oculus Quest was announced. It's going to be a wireless, all-in-one VR headset for $399. That includes the controllers, no towers. So this is going sort of like after that Samsung Odyssey thing where it's using internal sensors to get all of its positioning and everything. But $399 is almost, wasn't it like $299 for the wireless adapter for the mixed reality headset? I can't remember which brand it was.
I don't think it had controllers with it. That was just the VR unit itself for that price.
When I think of the future of VR, for me, there's two directions. There's one, getting us more. Better clarity, better pixels, the works, lower latency. And then the other is getting them cheaper. So this might be a move in that direction, but maybe, I'm assuming, not like an upgrade in performance.
For any new technology, it takes a little while for it to get down to our price.
Absolutely. Tom, I did get some sort of message in the background for sure. What did Billy say? I missed that. All right, trying to keep up with everything here. What else? What else we got? Not a whole lot more to talk about today, to be honest with you. Eurogamer talking about, so we use Discord, so our patron group, we're on Discord every day. Anyone notice this morning when you went in there, they're now selling games? So apparently, I've been telling you this was coming, and this is them going after, like, Steam. You know, you think Steam... a lot of articles over the last year about how Steam is going to lose that just being the automatic online retail place, and they're going to have a lot of competitors coming in a lot of directions for them. But apparently these 7 games are now available. None that I'm going to run out and buy. Last Year, Sinner, Minion Masters, Bad North, At Sundown, Mad Machines. What's Mad Machines? Maybe that one could be. That sounds intriguing.
And blocks though. And
yeah,
there.
maybe not so intriguing. Oh, what else? Actually, just a couple more stories. Second round. I am mentioning this to kind of like slap myself in the face. Like, hey, every once in a while things happen. And I'm like, why don't you know more about this? Which is sort of like me saying to myself, why are you not better at sim racing? Or why are you not better at your job than you are? But this Le Mans esports series is no joke. They have 150 grand on the line. So it's a substantial amount of money. Anyway, there's an article here at Autosport. So we're also talking about where is their coverage coming from. You know, they're being covered on traditional places. That's another thing I kind of want to mention to you guys. When you go to regular, would have always been just real petrol, automotive journalism places, if you start to notice, they are all starting to include an esports section. So here we are at Autosport, and right there, right amongst single-seaters, bikes, sports cars, rally, touring cars, esport. And that's where this story is, talking about round 2 coming up at Fuji, right? No, Suzuka. Sorry. This is the Le Mans eSport series, and anyway, this has been going around. You can see Alonso's involved. There he is talking about it. This is a very big deal that I don't know a whole lot about, and let Doug slap me, says Tim. And just as another example, so again, I'm just going to click that to go to that eSport, because again, if you're looking for, you're at work and you just need some click time, you know what I'm saying. You can go to Autosport, go to eSport, and look at this. I mean, they're talking about the dirt rally. I mean, I guess I'm kind of plugging my competition. Like I said, At some point, when the bigs come in, they will make someone like me completely obsolete. They'll have a whole staff doing what I do. No, Stu, I don't really think that's part of the plan. We're gonna go get a sim rig out of the storage unit. Motorsport is a site that I've kind of given a hard time over the years because they went behind the paywall, so to speak, with most of their content. I think their esports section will remain in front of the paywall, though, because it just sort of seems odd to hold out on e-content in the e-world of esport. Anyway, but here, Motorsport, they have an esports section as well. I covered this, I think, yesterday, the NASCAR Heat 3 video. showing off some of that. But a lot of good news on eSport. And again, another traditional automotive journalism site has now created and is filling. Look at their regularity. September 22nd, September 20th, September 20th, 18th, 17th. Constant stuff coming out of them. So that's very, very cool as well. And that kind of takes us to the end of the show, believe it or not. That is the end of today's sim racing news.
20 minutes?
We're at 25 minutes, actually. Yesterday, I sent an email out to the Truck Series drivers. I don't have the graphic. Michael Thompson leading in the points over Richie Hearn, over Billy Strange. We race Friday night at Charlotte Motor Speedway Interior Road Course. Email went out to the group yesterday. If you didn't get that email and you think or you know you're part of the series, I know I'm missing 9 people from the registration list versus my email list, which means I know that 9 people did not get the email.
I got mine.
Which means if you think you're part of that series, you need to email me. If you didn't get an email yesterday, then you got missed somehow, some way. Please contact me so I can get you race details. There are going to be practice rooms today from 3 o'clock Eastern.
I think 108's at Charlotte Road, the Roval.
I ran a 108.9 last night in practice, but I've heard of others faster than that. Tonight, we will have from 3 o'clock Eastern to 11 o'clock Eastern, or from 6 o'clock, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. From 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, or from 3 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. tonight, I have practice rooms in 2-hour intervals. I do it in 2 hours so the track doesn't get too gunked up. Every 2 hours, a new room starts. But that means 8 continuous hours of practice rooms that you can get out and practice for tomorrow night's race. And all of the details for all of that were in the email. So I'm kind of preaching to the choir a little bit here. I'm going to get out there tonight and do some practice. Hopefully we'll get Doug out of here in time so that he can get home and do some practice. And then this weekend, we will have a lot going on with the Simpit Endurance team. And I will get an email out to those guys, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, sometime this evening. So if by tomorrow you think you're part of the Simpit Endurance team and you didn't get an email from me with time trial qualifying procedures and all that good stuff, definitely contact me. And I've told everyone to contact me. Just to be clear, that is Shaun, S-H-A-U-N, at thesimpit.com. And I'd love to see you out there in the trucks or on the endurance team. The endurance team is only for our patron group, though. That is a little restrictive. The truck series is open to everybody. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's show. Anything else from your end?
No.
You ready to go get your rig?
Nope. I want to test this thing out.
Oh, we're going to do some driving. Then we're going to go get the rig. Anyway, all right, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the crew and making it fun to be here, talking sim racing news each and every day. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole.
I'm Doug Hawley.
And we will see you on the track.